place?
Well, I've been working in video games for over 5 years and working in production. And I moved to Vancouver because I fell in love with the city and I had a lot of friends that were living there. And I went without a job at the time. I was talking to some of the gaming companies, and I started talking to United Front Games. And I have to admit that when I found out that they were working on a Littlebigplanet Karting title, I was so excited because I'd played the prior games before, and it was one of my favorite games, Littlebigplanet 2. And the thought of actually joining the team and working with Sackboy again was pretty exciting. So when I actually ended up getting the job, I was very, very happy. Generally, when you're developing a game, you do have some in-house tools that you use anyway to make the game. And you do tune them and work on them, throughout the development. But you don't have to perfect them because you're not going to be giving them to the public. This is just doing the same thing, but actually making it in a way that users can create stuff as well. So you are actually working to make those tools as good as possible at the same time. But it doesn't make you lose your creativity. If anything, it actually enhances your game design creativity because you've suddenly got all these bits and pieces, like puzzle pieces, that you can put together, and you realize, oh, we can do that. I didn't realize we could do that. And then that leads a whole new level of creativity, like with our level designers being inspired by the Journey costume and then putting together a few things, and suddenly they're actually being more creative than they were and designing more things than they were before. It's the nature of the Littlebigplanet series that the community kind of shapes where you go next. We don't really know what our next plans are, but once we get this out into their hands, they're going to show us, because we're going to see what they make, what they want, the feedback they have, what they like, and that's going to kind of lead us into where we go next. So it's actually more inspiring than anything else to see what the community come up with. Karting as a genre has a huge fan base. Those people are the ones who are going to stick with the traditional karting, the races and the arenas and the battles, and probably going to play a lot of those and create more of those. But people who do like the slightly offbeat, the more of the mini games, those type of things, they're the ones who will make those. So they'll make them for their own audience. So it's kind of whatever you're into, you're going to find. And I don't think that we're going to lose the big karting audience because there's going to be so much of that. And we've really made that a core of this game. I don't think it's gone away, it's just a different experience, right? We have a very core group of people who still love Mod Nation races, still create their own tracks, and the community is still ongoing. And that's really good for people who are into that traditional karting fun, creating your own tracks and doing that sort of thing. So it hasn't gone anywhere at all, it's still alive and kicking. You're right. I mean, this is a game that everybody knows and loves. People who aren't really, who don't call themselves gamers, are aware of Mario Kart and the things that it's done for the genre. And of course, we respect that a lot. We love what they've done. It inspires everybody. But what we've done here is that we've tried to make this about Sackboy and about Craftworld and his adventures through it. And the other way I like to look at it is, if you like something, you always want more of it. I like ice cream, but I'm not going to stick with one flavor. I want all of the flavors of ice cream. So this is just kind of giving karting fans just more, completely more. And like I was saying earlier, it's an adventure that doesn't end when you finish the story levels, because the community is going to make so many more levels for you to play with. It's never-ending karting. So that's where I think we're really going to bring something new to the table. Completely. Well, you can make him your own Sackboy. You can make him look in whatever kart that you choose. He can look super cute or aggressive or mean, or we all love Sackboy. He's so charming, and seeing him driving around on a track, shaking his little fist as people go past him, or using the weapons, like, it's just fun and really, really cute, and he just works well behind the wheel. So we really had to stop and think about it and imagine how it would look if you could move the camera around, what would be there. And we played around with a whole different looks and feels, and then we worked out that it's a pretty simple thing, actually. It really is a simple thing in turning the camera around and making it just feel like, oh, let's just move it out a little bit and let's just give it some life and animate things in a whole different way, like this movement gives it something new. And it kind of just flowed from there. I have a couple. First of all, when we were able to use the downloadable costumes, I showed you guys earlier, but I was pretty happy that I could be Ariel, the little mermaid, in Littlebigplanet Karting. But probably my most favourite thing about the gameplay is the online multiplayer. So when you're up there with up to 7 other people, all playing a race and battling, especially if you happen to be in the vicinity of each other, because there's a lot of smack talk and there's a lot of competition and a lot of, oh, you know, you're nearly at the front and then someone pips you at the post, and that kind of competition is just so much fun, and I love it. It's really, really cool. The level editor itself, you know, there is a learning curve. It's not something that you can just jump in and expect to make complex levels immediately. I mean, I'm a great example. I use the editor, but I'm not a creator, a power creator or anything. It's very easy to jump in and make a basic track and decorate it and give it the things that you want it to give, have other players play it. That is very, very easy. But when you want to take it to the next level and you want to add lots of complex logic, you do need to put in the time to learn these things and a bit of patience and playing around with it. You know, people, I don't want to expect that people can just pick it up and just be like, why am I not making these amazing levels that look like that? You know, you do need to learn and put in the time. So that kind of learning curve depends, so that's how long it would take, really, depending on what the kind of level you want to make. Oh, the craziest, yes. I think they say the greatest, and I'm like, oh God. The craziest person. We're all equal amounts of crazy. I'm gonna have to say the person who has the most ideas and is really fun and eccentric would be our lead designer, William Ho. He also does a lot of these tours and talks to people, and he is so passionate about this game. He loves everything about it, and he comes up with a lot of crazy ideas. And it's fun because we all want to go there. You know, we're like, let's do this, let's do that. Oh my God, let's do it. And then we realize, you know, I'm a producer, so I'm on the other end of the scale where I'm like, that's a great idea, but we need to bring it down a little bit because we've got limited resources here. So we kind of balance each other out a little bit.